Well, good morning, everybody. Wee Paddy here. I'm in the front room making a video because the boss is in her counting house, counting all her money, as they say, and I'm left out in the front room. But we'll muddle through. Today, I've got a really interesting knife. Now, this knife is not new out, and probably a lot of you have seen it before. But bear with me because I think it's worth seeing again. And maybe the first time you thought it was a bit gimmicky. What I'm here to tell you is this knife is not gimmicky. This is a proper working knife. There's no frills with it. There's no lovely rounded contoured hands to make you feel like this is just an old yard knife. Now, when I say an old yard knife, I mean it's a good working knife. I could take this out to the forest and quite happily do all my camp tasks with this knife. Without fear, I could batten it if I needed to. I wouldn't necessarily, but I could batten it. And this is a non-locking knife, a slip joint. Now, those of you who've seen it before know there's a bit of a catch, and of course there is. This is the HX Outdoors, which is a brand I am really growing to like. Their quality seems to be very, very good. As I say, this is a bit of an older model, but very, very functional at any time. It's the D153 version, and it's in D2 steel, and it's the K10 composite fibre handle. No idea. It's plastic handle of some sort, but it's grippy, it does the job, it's not going to stain, whatever. The handle on it is very much a using handle, without a doubt. So what I'm going to do, it comes in a lovely box, and these are sturdy boxes, comes with a magnetic front on it, and that's what you get in the box. That's what you see, which is a lovely looking work knife. And it's got the little contour bit where it sits in, it doesn't move about, which I think is lovely. I think that's a really nice box to give it in. So, what's the knife look like? There we go. It really doesn't inspire a whole lot of, it's just it's an all blacked out knife. I don't think it's meant to be tactical. You've got the spacers there, and you have got it wouldn't be a pry bar, it's something for crushing nuts, or in the nicest possible way, I may add. If I can just show you that, it's just a metal protrusion that you could actually crush nuts or split something, split a coconut, do something. Not that there's not many coconuts in Ireland, I can tell you. But there's lovely finger grooves here, and I'll open it up. It opens up two positions. You've got the half stop and then the full. So the half stop and out. It is lovely finger grooves on both sides, and there's a sneak up choil, which makes this very, very comfortable. There's good purposeful. Now, it's big jimping. We don't often see the big jimping. Can you see that? It's quite large, the jimping, but it's actually very purposeful. It's on the back of the handle and on the blade. Really, really nice and comfy to grip. For me, this isn't a show you off night. This is something you're going to go out probably with a pair of gloves on and do a bit of work. It's a small blade. We'll get to that at the minute. In fact, I think we'll do the measurements now, get them out of the way, and then I'll talk what I would use this knife for. So, let's get it down. What size is it? It is, in the old funny centimetre thingy madoofers, about 17 centimetres long. The blade length is 7 centimetres. And we'll turn it around and do the real ones. It is just over, say, 6 3/4, which is about 6 3/4, yeah, 6 3/4, and the blade length is 2 3/4. The cutting length of the blade is probably near 2.5 though, so it's not a big blade. This is legal in my country, which is the UK, Northern Ireland, and a lot of other countries. that don't allow locking knives, this is the perfect work knife, or one that you want to take out that, if need be, you can change its appearance. That's the joy of this knife. Now, what weight does it weigh? What weight does it weigh? What weight is it? What would be better? Now, come on, machine. There we go. Grams. Grams, it is 105 grams. And we'll just change it to them proper ones. Ounces. 3.69, so say 3.7 ounces, which is quite heavy for all the size of it. But that's because it's quite a thick handle scale on it. And it's just really thick, heavy plastic. It's just built for work. So that's not a work knife that's under 4 ounces. That's absolutely fine with me. But again, hold off on discounting it. I'm going to give you a blade thickness because I don't know. I didn't even measure this myself. Now, come on, machine. There we go. 0. Now, 2.6, so it's probably 2.5 millimeters, and in inches that will be 0.10 in inches. So, sturdy enough blade, good enough tip on it there. It's quite strong in the tip, but it is D2 steel, which is a nice steel to work with, especially for a work knife. Now, the joy of this knife is if you're out and you do need to do some heavy prying or something where you actually do need to get a baton to break through something. You know, should it be a heavy bit of plastic or a cable, say, to break away, whatever, something. Yeah, you can always find something. At the back here, it's very hard because it's a black knife. It's very hard. In the back here, there is a little, I'll just bring this out. There is a lovely little tool they give you. And this is for your hex nuts. They're all done with this little tool. You can tighten your hex nuts and loosen them. And that's what you would tell whoever's stopping you, that's what that's for. But it has a secondary use. And the secondary use is, if you can see here, there is a hole at the front. If you insert this little thing in here to the hole at the front, this is a fully locked knife. That you would have to break that metal to break the knife. It has gone through the blade, through the other side, that is completely locked. So I could baton and not worry this isn't, it's not going to move the blade up and down, which would destroy it. Now, this is not something you'd maybe use every day, but if you're even doing a bit of harder tasks and you're having to, you know, do something in a tight space where you might jump up and hit the slip joint on it. You know, if you're underneath the cupboard and you're frightened of jumping up on it, stick that in. Completely safe. Absolutely completely safe. Now, to me, that's worth its money all along. It is worth its money all along. Again, this knife's not going to be, and don't forget, we've got 20% off. I would say somewhere around $20, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more. But $20 off or 20% off, I would say will knock it under the $20 if you're careful when you buy it. Remember, you can't get the voucher if it's on sale. So be canny, check what the sale price would be if you took it off, and maybe wait, you know, a day or two. So we be canny. That's it. So getting this out can be footery. So I would always have something else with me, but a little twig or something would just pull that out. And I would say if you're pulling this out, it's so small, make sure you're somewhere where it's not going to go on the ground. And then you just fit this into the back again. And when you push it in, it's stuck in. You know, it's not going to come out without a bit of leverage. So I think this is just a marvellous wee knife. It looks good. It's inoffensive. It's got a deep pocket carry clip. It's not, these thick liners are not milled out or anything. They're just thick liners for heavy use. And I think that's the reason why they do that, because if you're batoning, you can't hit this. So this is strong enough to take it. It's got a lock bar through there, which is not, unless you're hitting it with a very big heavy hammer, you're not going to break through that. You're not going to bend it. You're just going to be hitting this mostly. But it gives you the freedom that if you do accidentally hit it, the knife's going to be fine. So far in my testing, and I haven't thumped it, I did use, you know, a wee stair rail. I tapped it in the back on a bit of wood in the ground just to cut the wood in half. No problem whatsoever. As you know, D2 is pretty good. It'll do that. Although they say this is only Rockwell hardness to 58, which to me is a bit light for D2. But I mean, there's so much D2 about it at the minute. JT's Knife Life's actually started a new series on testing Chinese D2, all sorts of D2, American made, to see if there is much of a difference in the D2 that they're calling now. But HX Outdoors are pretty reputable at the minute. Their knives, their blades are all pretty good. This is one of the sharpest knives I've ever had out of the box. It really is one of the sharpest knives. I'll just let you hear it. You can just hear it. It is. Now I've been using this. I have neither stropped it or done anything, and I've been hitting a bit of wood and scalping a bit of wood with it, so that's not bad. There it's on a bit of cardboard. Absolutely lovely. I have no complaints in its use, in what I would use it for. About a yard. I don't need a huge, when I say yard, I mean outside my back garden. I mean, I could use this for anything out there. There's nothing massive. But it's the sort of knife I would throw in the bottom of a, I don't do them anymore, but I used to do a lot of packs and make up different packs. My bug out bags. I don't anymore. I'm too old to feckin' carry them anywhere. So I don't bother with them anymore. I just, I'm laughing at myself here. I don't make any packs up anymore. I've just decided to stop. I don't even have my EDC pack anymore. For no other reason than I've done all that. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed partaking in it, but I'm bugging in. If anything happens, I'm bugging in. I can camp. I can get my own food. So if necessary, if I can get there, well, that's fine. I'll get there. If not, I'm bugging in. Another story. But I really do recommend this knife. I know it's a bit novel, but having that little bar, one, if you're out in the field to tighten, if one of the screws does come loose, you've got it there. And two, when you put it in there, it's a lock knife, and that's it. I mean, it's as near to a full fixed blade as you're going to get. Very, very comfortable. All the jimping is relevant and comfortable. The pocket clip is good and strong, and it's small. It's not a huge pocket clip. It doesn't take up a big bit. This little bit at the back is great if you want to hammer something. Do you know what I mean? It comes down to, I hope you're seeing that. Yeah, there you go. That's a better one. It comes down to a nice flat surface, so you can hammer, batter, do what you like with it. And this knife is built so strongly it'll take it all. Now, I'm not going to hammer the point. It's a great little slip joint that I can put in my pocket, and I have no fear of the police stop me. What I will do is I'll tell you, let's have a wee measure. In fact, let's do this. Let's just see how wide this wee chap is. It is, I thought it was an awful lot wider. It's only half an inch, which is perfect. That's the standard. It looked more than that, doesn't it? It really does. So it's only half an inch. So I never felt it taking any space up in my pocket anyway. But when you look at it, you actually feel as if it is thicker than that. So there we go. That's quite good. Half an inch. I'll lay it out. It's a nice looking knife. It sits like that comfortably too. You're not putting the blade on the ground. It'll just sit like that. So let's put it against some of the other knives that I've got, slip joint knives that I take out with me when I'm, here's one, and there's the length. Now, there's more blade in this than there is the turn. This is the Spyderco turn. It's the bird turn, which is another nice slip joint knife. But it is just a slip joint, you know. It's one of the safest ones because you got the forward choil. In fact, I would say if you're buying a slip joint knife, don't buy one that doesn't have a forward choil if you're worried about slip joints. I'm particularly not, because I've sort of grown up with them and they don't bother me, even if there isn't a forward choil. It's how you use them most of the time that's going to cause the problem. And another one I'll put here, it's another Spyderco. It's a bit bigger on it. The Spyderco PK. It's a big knife. Good knife. Again, it's got the forward choil, so nothing's ever going to happen. Nice deep pocket carry clips in them as well. So that would be my three main knives now for the outside. This one I am going to keep because I do like it. I like the novel factor. I like that because it can go in a toolbox, and it can lie in a toolbox, and maybe I need to cut something or whatever, and I'm not going to worry too much about D2. It's going to do the job. So that's it, folks. Not going to labour the point. I think it comes in a lovely box, and I think it'll be well worth the money you spend on it. Again, please use the 20% discount. It's there for you to use. And look, if you buy something on this and you've used the discount, let me know how you save, how much you saved. Let me know if you like the knife, because I'm recommending these knives on what I perceive they're like, and I can only do that on what I've got in my hand here. Your information back to me is what makes it a better piece of advice to people. So always let me know if you buy something, what you think of it, if it's good, if it's bad. It's not going to upset me. And if I can do anything to help, all I have is it's a wee girl in China that I email back and forward. You don't have a conversation, so there's not a lot I can do. Complaints wise, you have to make your own complaints. But I can try to put something forward if I'm getting a response where 2 or 3 knives are coming back and they're not good. I will send an email. So, whether that'll help or not, I do not know. But thank you so much. Recommended. Recommended. Take care, folks. Bye-bye. Paddy's going to finish his wee cup of tea and have another one. All the best. Bye-bye, folks.